can you find x given that the radius of the circle is 1? The only things that we know here are that this rectangle, the sides are in the ratio 1 to 2. So we've got x and 2x. And we know that the radius of the circle is 1. So how would you go about starting a question like this? So if you've done a little bit of geometry, you'll know that a good general strategy here is to join up the center of the circle with any tangents to the circle. So we've got a couple of tangents here where it touches the sides of this square. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the center of the circle and join up the center to those tangents. Another good problem solving strategy for questions just like this is to join up the center of the circle with any other points on the circumference where it meets other lines. So here we're going to join up these two. So we know that the radius of the circle is 1. So all of these lengths are 1. But how are we going to connect the radius of the circle to x or 2x? So take a moment to have a think about that. But this is where Pythagoras' theorem is going to make an appearance. And if that hint isn't enough, what we can do is just draw a horizontal line across here to make a triangle. So what are the lengths of this triangle? We know this length is parallel to the sides of the square, and so it's a vertical line and a horizontal line, so they're going to meet at a 90-degree angle. We also know that this whole length is 1 because it's the radius. So this length is going to be 1 minus x. Now, if we can find the third side of this right angle triangle, we're going to be able to use Pythagoras. So this full length is also 1, the radius, but here we're subtracting 2x, so it's going to be 1 minus 2x. And now, knowing a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, we can say that 1 minus 2x squared plus 1 minus x squared is equal to 1 squared. We've got an equation and we're close to solving it. So 1 minus 2x squared plus 1 minus x squared is equal to 1 squared. We can go ahead, expand the brackets, try and solve it for x. So we're going to get 1 minus 4x plus 4x squared plus 1 minus 2x plus x squared is equal to 1. We can cancel the ones on both sides and collect all of the like terms. So we're going to get 5x squared minus 6x plus 1 is equal to 0. Relatively easy equation to factorize, even though it's got a 5 in front of the coefficient of x squared. So it's going to go into 5x, and we're going to go minus minus. So 5x times x is 5x squared, minus x minus 5x gives us minus 6x, and minus 1 times minus 1 gives us plus 1. So we had two solutions here, either x equals 1 or x equals 1/5. But which of these solutions makes sense within the context of the question? So we know that the radius of the circle is 1. Could x also be that 1 as well? The same length, so the 2x would be 2. Does that make sense? So we can see that x has to be less than the radius of the circle. So x cannot equal 1, and we're just left with the solution that x has to equal 1/5. If you like that, let me know in the comments.